Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Southern Santa Piper. I'm your host, Kenny, and today it is Savinelli Saturday. I am smoking this Punta Oro. What is this? This is a 809 KS. 809 KS, kind of that coral finish. It originally was a natural pipe, but I never bonded with it. Didn't really care for kind of that light beige color. I found the pipe to be unattractive. I got a good deal. I think you've heard me mention previously that when I purchased this Savinelli pipe, I only buy Punta Oros or above. Every one I've tried that are filtered, I'm usually not a fan. I don't like the draws. So I've been buying their unfiltered, higher end ones to give them kind of a try because I know that they are a pretty popular brand. I've not owned many of them, so my experience on them will be extremely limited, not like some of you guys who have 20, 30 pipes by them. Unlike the one I smoked last week, which had a horrible draw, this one the draw is perfect. Perfectly drilled, really lightweight briar. The only downside on this one, and I cannot blame Savinelli for this, is I bought this as a used estate pipe. And I've got to do some work. I actually got to kind of figure out how to correct this, but where the stem enters the shank, there's a little gap and it's extremely loose. And I think the tenon's a little bent on this one. It doesn't line up very well. So I get some air leaks. I'm smoking in it today. One of my own mixtures. Just a simple mix of an aromatic with an English blend. This is actually Northwoods with some 1Q and a pinch of Stella Creme Brulee, which in my opinion is exactly the same as the Molto Dolce. Mm. It is a lovely, lovely, not super heavy blend with lots of flavor. I've been in my Rogu cup filled with coffee this morning. I think it's early afternoon right. I really want to give Savinelli's a better chance than I have in the past. The few that I've had have left kind of a bad taste in my mouth. But this one smokes well. So I am not crazy. Not crazy on the stem fit on this one, but that's okay. I have a silver banded um, Savinelli Silver Canadian that's a wonderful smoking pipe. Beautiful grain on it. It's a really well made pipe. I would love to get my hands on an autograph or one of their higher end pipes as well. Even though I'm totally good with a good production pipe, as long as it's constructed well. What I'm not a big fan of is when pipes aren't properly drilled or fit and finish isn't on par with where they should be. Pipes aren't cheap. Hmm. little bit chillier. You noticed yesterday I was sweating a little bit and got on a jacket today. Woke up this morning fairly early. Well, early for my standards. It was a little after 7 when I woke up. And did crawl out of bed, though, to about 8. Being retired, I usually don't get up to 8:39. My wife would tell you some days it's even longer than that. Depends on if I was staying up all night talking. And last night I was staying up quite a bit. I've got, I've mentioned it before, but I've got really kind of painful dermatitis on my hands and itching really bad. I get periods where it will clear up from the medication and then it comes right back. So I ended up up quite a bit talking to some of my pipe buddies last night, primarily Todd and Cannibal. You hear me mention them a lot because I talk to them a lot. I am Todd's excuse for buying new pipes and tobacco, and I appreciate that. And Cannibal and I just have a lot of commonality for same type of loves of pipes and tobaccos, and he just picked up some Country Squires Shepherd's Pie based upon, I think, my recommendation. It's one of my favorites that I can buy in bulk. And he was blown away at just how wonderful and how balanced of a tobacco that is. If you guys have not tried that one, try that one. I'm actually out of it right now, and I need to place an order. What I had left, small amount, went into this jar, which is simply Ken's Blend, and it's got some Northwoods. It's got some. Initially, how that one started. Well, I'll give you the story on that today. Ken's Blend started off with me trying to mix my own Frogmorton, and I figured I would use 2 tobaccos that are mentioned a lot when it comes to a close replacement for Frogmorton, and that is Country Squires Shepherd's Pie, as well as Spa, as well as Northwoods. So initially I mixed just a small amount, 2 or 3 bowls, basically 50-50 mix. Wasn't quite what I expected. So I kept kind of tweaking it till it got more flavorful and the things I liked. Then I started adding other things. I started adding some Latakia. I'd get a new tobacco. I mean, recently, out of one of the new tobaccos I've got, this has been tweaked with some Quiet. No, not Quiet. It's Star of the East flake. Tweaked it with a little bit of that because I really liked the flavor profile on that, but every now and then I'll have tobacco that I tweak, and that gets added in there, and I smoke a bowl. I'll go back, smoke it 2 weeks later after it's married some, make a slight adjustment, but it's been a work in progress for about a year, that particular jar of Ken's Blend. I'm always experimenting blending tobaccos. Especially in tobaccos that I think are sometimes lacking. But even in tobaccos I really, really enjoy. And I really, really enjoy both Shepherd's Pie and Northwoods. They're 2 of my favorites. It's getting hard for me to determine what are my top 5 or top 10 even bulks or tin tobaccos anymore. Just because there are so many good ones out right now. I would probably tell you that Northwoods probably makes up that top tier of my favorite bulk tobaccos presently. And tin tobaccos is probably East Farthing. Star of the East Flake, another great tin tobacco. It's hard for me to say that's not in the #1 spot now, even though I'm a huge fan of the East farthing. So, it's number two and probably closer to tied. But they're totally separate tobaccos, so that's why it's hard for me to make sometimes that determination of what's my favorite. Um, because those tobaccos are totally different in flavor and taste profile. The only similarities that they have are many would call them both in English, while some would not say that about East Farthing. Some would consider that kind of a hybrid or aromatic English, as some call it, or Latakia blend. But for me, it is still one of the greatest tobaccos out there. Love it, love it, love it. A lot of people compare it to Frogmore. In my opinion, it tastes nothing like it, but it's one of those really good ones. But again, I'll take my favorite ones, things like that, and Boswell. I'll mix them together. I'll see what I can get. There is nothing wrong with experimentation. Nothing at all. Probably should have filled up my lighters before I checked. Thank God I've got more than one. It looks like it's a beautiful day. There's a festival going on. We got another meal being catered to us tonight. My anniversary is tomorrow. My lovely wife and I will be married 6 years. We've been together for about 10 or 11. We've known each other since we were 14 years old. And I'll give you the story in that. Because my wife always says she always kind of rubs it in, is that my twin brother was dating a girl named Gina, who was my twin brother's Arlie. Hello, Arlie. I've mentioned him before. We're identical twins. He was born before me. He was born at 4:18 on Christmas morning. I was born at 4:31. And I always say it's because I kicked him out. I needed room to stretch. But him and I, when we were in high school, he was dating a girl named Gina. And I was dating April, my wife at the time. Well, I sort of had a thing for Gina, and one day we started making out. Before you knew it, I dropped April for Gina, who happened to be her best friend. Gina Maria Lulo. A nice Italian name, but I always tease my wife. Well, I like those Irish girls. Good Irish name. You can't mistake that for an Irish name. It's a silly sense of humor. But then I think it was probably within a week, April started dating my twin brother to get me back. So the joke is that she still won in the end. I would never have guessed, if you were to tell me back in high school days, that I would be married to April. I wouldn't have guessed that if you would have told me that 10 years ago. I would never have guessed that during my first marriage if you would have told me. I would have been like, April from high school? No, you're insane. But after she got divorced, I talked her into coming down to Florida. We had remained friends. She used to live down in Clearwater. She really had no desire to come here. And we hit it off really well, not only as friends, but things changed. And here we are today, and I'll be married 6 years tomorrow. So I guess my point on all of that is sometimes it's really good to get married to like your best friend and someone who really, really understands you as a person. I know when I was younger, the only thing I was kind of focused on was how well women looked and things like that. But as you get older, you realize that we all change. We're not all fit anymore. We age, we get gray hair. My beard would be totally gray if I didn't dye it. I mean, you can see the gray in my hair. Usually more if I've got a ring light on, which I don't. But my wife is still a beautiful woman. She's 58. Nobody thinks she's 58 years old. Most people think she's in her early 30s. She's got good genes. I would tell her to kiss her mom, but then she'd slap me for that because her and her mom don't really get along. So I won't tell her to kiss her mom for the good genes. But she's got a sister too who's beautiful as well, and they definitely got their looks from their mom. Betty is in her 70s, but she doesn't look like she's in her 70s. It was probably though about that time that I first really became aware of many of the pipe shops because it was about that time that I started hanging out at the malls a lot, as most teenagers. I mean, I think we started doing that like middle school. Hey, let's go to the mall. Hey, let's go to the mall. Mostly hanging around record shops, etc. Head shops back in the day. We had one called the Alley. Music stores was a big one. I'm a musician, I'm a guitar player. I remember walking this music store. It was unusual back in the day at Woodfield Mall, and I've mentioned that before. It's was at the time the busiest shopping center in the world, largest mall in the world at the time. We had several music stores in there, several of them that sold guitars. And I don't remember the models, a long time I never had, but there was a guitar company called Electra, and they had kind of plug-in modules, phasers, and other type things. And I remember plugging one of the guitars into the amp there, and me and my brothers in there, and I kind of just jamming out. And these two ladies were in there, and it was funny. She was a larger African American woman. I remember that about her, and she made some comment which reminds me of a song. Play that funky music, white boy. Um, she was like, she's like, oh, that sounds just like the Isley Brothers. Keep playing, keep playing. I don't know. I think I had some like auto wah going on the bass or going. I don't remember what I was saying, but I thought that was really really cool. I love the Isley Brothers, by the way. I love most like R&B and funk and classic rock and blues. Blues is a big one for me. Huge blues fan. But then most of the music I really like from the 60s to 70s is kind of blues-based rock. Led Zeppelin being my favorite band. Guitar players like Eric Clapton and all of his various incarnations of the various bands he's been in. I listened to a little bit of new music today. There's some newer bands I like. There's music that my wife is shocked that I listened to. Like this morning, I was listening back. There's a new band I really like called Cannons. Really talented young people in there. Paul is their bass player, digital percussionist, keyboard player, songwriter, producer, amazing talent that band's got. Then you got Ryan on guitar, who just kind of lays back kind of a classic, cool rhythm vibe. And I want to hear him break out more. So Ryan, if you ever watch this video, come on, man. Now we need a leader too. Then you've got this beautiful young lady, Michelle Joy, who's originally here from Florida, but now they're all LA-based band. But just a lovely singer, beautiful young woman, and they're just such nice, friendly young people. I've like Merchant Service, where I've declared myself their apostle. I've declared myself the band dad, the official band dad of Kansas. But there's quite a bit of new music I do like, but I still love my 70s music and my 80s music. Everything from hair metal to like bands like Depeche Mode. And of course, I love some classical, not all. Bach, Wagner, Holst. Just listen to Holst, the planets. Mars, Bringer of War. One of the most intense musical pieces ever. I think that piece alone has probably influenced soundtracks and science fiction for decades. My rooster likes to be loud when I do these. Hopefully when I run it through noise reduction, you won't hear him too much. I'm not a big fan of the noise reduction I'm using currently. It makes my voice sound metallic, and it's mostly a this Savinelli, since it's Savinelli Saturday, not my typical sandblasted pipe. This is definitely kind of a strange rusticated. But it is unusual enough where I really like it. I mean, it almost has the appearance of kind of a sandblasted with like a lot of bird's eye. I think they call this like their coral finish. I like it, and I like the color. It's sort of a reddish brown, mahogany-ish. I don't know how well it will be picked up in the current lighting, but I like the color so much better now. I'm really weird when it comes to pipe. If I don't with the pipe on its appearance and feel, it could be a great smoking pipe, but if I look and go, ooh, I'm not a fan of how that looks, I probably won't smoke it. Sometimes pipes look okay, and then I get them home and I'm just not that crazy about them. That's why I've got to thin my herd. I've got probably like 20 pipes and need to sell, get rid of, just to make room for new pipes. I had those two that came in yesterday, and they were beautiful. I only smoked one, but I know they'll both be great smokers. I was going to try the live video last night, but I didn't even finish editing yesterday morning's video till late. And by the time I got it posted, it was after 11 o'clock. I don't even think I posted any photos on any social media yesterday. Normally I take some photos of the pipes I do in the videos, and those get posted, and I didn't even do that. Just too much was going on. We had a handyman break a water pipe, my hot water main that feeds to my main house. Get a plumber come out. That was gonna be like $900. I used to run a plumbing and air conditioning company. I thought I could take care of it, but it was way too low below under the concrete. So had the plumber come out, but he didn't have everything he needed to do it. He was going to rerun everything. So the handyman who broke it by accident, Mark, came by and he fixed it. Thank God for his honesty, and thank God, he was able to get it fixed. Saved me $900. And I'm not blaming him for it. It's an old pipe. The way that it was run initially, my house, while it looked like a garage, it's no longer a garage. That space has been remodeled. It was never a garage. When this house was moved here in 1952, that was actually a gunsmith shop. The gentleman who owned this house at the time was the local game warden, and he was also the local gunsmith, and that was his shop. So being Savinelli Saturday, I got a question for all. For those of you who smoke Savinellis, do you have a particular favorite model? If you do, put it in the comments. I'd also like to hear if you're smoking filtered ones, if you're using the balsa filters, if you're using a paper filter, a immersion filter, or are you smoking it filterless? I know many guys will smoke their filtered pipes without a filter. I don't know how that affects moisture. I don't know how that affects air draw. I have on accident done that on a few, and it made a much easier draw. But I know the pipe wasn't really designed for that, so I don't know how that really affects it. Most pipes that do not have a filter have a much smaller air hole drilled through the stem and tenon than you see on the filtered pipe. So to judge, turned out to be a beautiful, beautiful day today. This tobacco turned out really, really well. I'm really happy with this blend I did right here of Northwoods with my 1Q mixture. That is it today. I just wanted to share a little bit of smoking with you guys today. Celebrate Savinelli Saturday, enjoying a Savinelli with a nice smoke, enjoying this beautiful early afternoon. I hope you all have a great weekend. I'm sure I'll be talking to you tomorrow. And give me some comments about going live. When do you think we should try that? I still think that would be kind of a fun thing. And I want to thank all my subscribers so far. As of last night, and I even checked today, but I'm up to 92 subscribers, which I know is not a big number, but it's a big number for me, knowing that there's 92 of you guys out there and gals who are watching my videos, and I hope you're all enjoying them as much as I enjoy making these. So please hit the subscribe. If you like the videos here, please share them with your friends who are pipe smokers. Share them in any groups you're in. Share them on Reddit, in any of the groups you're in there. I really appreciate it. I'm not making any money off these. These are not monetized. In fact, I keep getting hit for copyright infringements. So I could never monetize these for the music, which I think I'm going to start doing my own music. I think I've got everything to do it, software-wise and even gear-wise. I even picked up my guitar, though, in over a year because of issues with my hands. So I'd have to get a little practice in before I start doing my own musical tracks. But I may start making at least a few musical tracks for like intro and out music. I keep trying different editing techniques, so we'll see. But in any case, again, thank you guys for joining me here at Southern Sandpiper. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll be talking to you soon. Take care.